Good morning, glad you could join us. When I think of seeing God, it's overwhelming, right? Like to actually see God. So I was reading a devotional by Max Lucado from God's Story, Your Story. I was on my hiking trip recently when I read this, and I just read 5 words. I read 5 words that just floored me. I've read them many times before. They're from the last chapter of the Bible. So if you go to the beginning of the Bible, you've got Adam and Eve, and they're hanging out with God in the garden. You get the idea that they walk and they talk together every day. Do you think they saw the face of God? I'm thinking yes. Before the fall of humankind, they saw God. I don't understand how all of that worked. But then Moses comes along, and he has such a heart for God. He loves people, but his one request, Solomon asked for wisdom, Moses said, I want to see you. I think that is so awesome. But God says you can't because you'd melt. It's like it would destroy you because of God's glory. So he couldn't. And then I think of Jesus being on earth, and that's the thing that I so look forward to is, and especially I get it in this masked age, like there are people that I've only seen with masks on. There are people that I've met since the pandemic started, and they're in retirement communities, etc. A lot of these people I've never seen them without a mask on. Some of them have never seen me without a mask on. It's kind of weird stuff. And there's so much communication that goes in with the whole thing of inflection and the eyes are one thing, but the mouth communicates so much other than just vocally. All that to say, can you imagine seeing the face of God? And that's what it says in Revelation. So you start out at the beginning, and the relationship with God is broken to the point that we can't see his face. And so there's like a mask on. Jesus comes to take the mask off, but we weren't there. And that's what I try to figure out. Like when Jesus said something, were his eyes twinkling? Was he smiling when he said it? What was the tone of his voice? Those things are so important. But then in the final chapter of the Bible, it's one thing to be in the presence of God, but it goes on to say 5 words, Revelation 22:4, they shall see his face. You will see the face of God. And it's not going to be just like, it's going to have life to it. Now, think about face. In the chapter before, in chapter 21, verse 4, it says that God will touch your face. Now, a lot of kings might try to impress with, we're going to do a light show. So I went to an Elton John concert not too long ago, and there was some smoke and mirrors and lights and stuff like that. I mean, can you imagine the kind of show that God could put on? But that's not the kind of show that God wants to put on. What he actually says is that he will wipe away every tear from their eyes. God will touch your face, and we will see his face, and it will be unmasked, and we'll understand. And honestly, I don't know if you identify with this, but as a preacher, in studying the words of Jesus, it means so much. I would love to hear him say things in his voice. I can't imagine what it would be like, but the Bible tells us that one day we will see his face. May that be your hope today, and may by the Spirit you in essence see his face today and understand his heart, because the more that we draw close to him, he will draw close to us. God bless you. Have a great day.